Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Quick announcement. So we're doing a pauper deck today. It's going to be the last one I do for a while. I've run out of ideas for pauper things to do, especially with Wildsvale Drain. I will come back to it. The videos haven't been as popular as I'd hoped they would have been, but I think it's something I'll revisit every now and again. I think I've gone a bit over the top doing one a week for the last 4 or 5 weeks now. So we're going to give it a break and we're going to come revisit it later on in the year. So don't panic, they will be back. I'll drop in one occasionally, but they're not going to be weekly going forward. So apologies if you're expecting pauper every week. I've just, yeah, a lot of the creatures are very similar now. So yeah, anyway, but I am going to do today's one because it is a little bit fun, and it's Syr Armont the Redeemer. 3 green and white for a 4/4 legendary creature human knight, and when he comes into battle you get to put a monster roll token on a creature, another creature you control. Gives that creature +1/+1 and gives it trample. But then it has an upside that says enchanted creatures you control get +1/+1. So it's going to be a pauper aura deck, isn't it? That's all we can really do with this, and this is what it looks like. So start as I always do, green white lands all the way through. I am playing the gates though. I've chucked in Basilisk Gate, Citadel Gate, a few of the other gates. I like Basilisk Gate because I want some way of pumping up some of my creatures. It's a little bit, outside of the whole aura side of things. Heap gates here, meta gates here. I've gone Opal Palace as well and Path of Ancestry just to help out a little bit. We are only playing 37 lands. We've got a nice selection of forests, nice selection of plains, Thriving Grove, Thriving Heath, and all the other dual lands you expect to see, including the Sanctuary. So be careful bouncing your lands in and out. Artifact ramp wise, I did a little bit more of a deep dive than this than I usually do, and I went a bit heavier. So we've got Arcane Signet, Fellwar Stone, one of each of the diamonds, Mind Stone, Thought Vessel, and Commander Sphere, because Syr Armont a little bit expensive at 5 mana, and once we get him in play or them in play, we want to keep them in play, or at least have the ability to recast them as soon as possible. Hence why all the additional ramp today. But it is auras, and we are interested in auras, so it's a very aura heavy deck, starting with Ethereal Armor, Hyena Umbra, Military Discipline, which is one I forgot about from the Brothers War. It's got Flash, which can throw off combat thing, and when it comes into play it does give a creature first strike, so it does throw off your opponent's combat side of things if you're looking at it. Mortal Obstinacy is also here. You can destroy one of their enchantments when it deals damage if you need to. Slumbering Keepguard from Wildsvale Drain. Yep, lots of enchantments come into play. We get to do a little bit of scrying, and then get to really do the whole 2 and 1 white to give it +1/+1 until the end of turn for each enchantment we control. Yeah, okay then. That's going to be big in this deck. Brave the Wilds is just another way of going finding a land. We can bargain it if we need a blocker as well. Fang Shinagi, just a little bit of death touching enchantment fun. Cloud Cover Scout, yeah, hexproof. There's no point having all these auras come into play that we can't really get back from our graveyard unless we've got some way of making sure the creatures can't be killed off outside of combat. So we've got a few hexproof creatures in the deck, and I'll point them out as we come along. Rancor's here, because why wouldn't you have Rancor? Yes, I know my one says uncommon, but it's definitely common back in the day. +2/+2 trample, return it to your hand when it goes to the graveyard from the battlefield. All That Glitters, again, is another common now. I think it was one of the commander sets that made it common, so yep, we'll get this in. Angelic Gifts gives one of our creatures flying. Transcendent Envoy makes all our aura spells cost 1 less to cast, which is nice. The guide's here to go and find a land, or put a +4 a 2/2 depending on what we need. Bite Down, I went it with a lot of the bite instead of the fights, purely because I want to keep my creatures in play, and this seems like a reasonable way of doing it with the pumping we've got going on. So Bite Down's here for a little bit of removal. Mantle of the Webs is just give it the creature reach. Master's Rebuke is another bite. Ram Through is another bite. It's good if you've got a trample on everything. Rampant Growth, go and find a land. Another one that's got hexproof, Silhana Ledgewalker. Can only be blocked by creatures with flying. So that's a pretty nice that's a pretty nice target for all our enchantment stuff. 3 visits, goes and find a card we need, or basic forest we need. We are playing somewhere. He generally really hopes he's remembered to put them in this time. Yeah, there you go. Go and get your Radiant Grove if you need to. I knew we had one somewhere. Anyway, Call of the Conclave, 2 mana for a 3/3. I'll cope with that. Pride Mage gives the old exalted bit if we need it, and also destroys an enchantment or an artifact that's annoying us. Asban Rune Mark, we control a lot of green permanents, so probably the chances are we can get +2/+2 and vigilance on our creature. Auramancer gets us one of the enchantments back from our graveyard if it gets killed off. Protective Parents gives us a hero role token, and considering most of our creatures haven't got 3 toughness, this is a nice way to pump them up some +1/+1 counters. Saviour of the Sleeping soon gets big once our creatures start getting removed with the auras on it. Starnheim Courser, another way of reducing the cost of, well, our artifacts and our enchantment spells. Imperial Armour, +1/+1 for each card in your hand. You've got to have the Weatherlight one in occasionally when you're doing this, haven't you? Ambuscade is just another one that bites, but it gives a little bit of a harder bite because it does give your creature +1/+0 until the end of turn. Careful Cultivation does the reach and tap, or we can channel it away to have a monk that gives us a token that taps for green mana, so whichever way you want to do it. Cartouche's Strength does fight, but it does give a creature +1/+1 and trample, so it's not the end of the world. Cultivate goes affects a forest and the plains. Null Mage Advocate gives us a nice way of repeatedly destroying enchantments and artifacts that are in play. As long as someone's got a couple of cards in their graveyard, we can do this. Oakheart Dryad gives all our creatures gives a creature +1/+1 when an enchantment enters play. And Redtooth Genealogist, also from Wilds of Eldraine, does another one of the Royal Roll tokens. Quite nice if you can do Syr Armont, and then drop the Genealogist, because you get Ward 1 and a +1/+1, so you get 4/4, which is quite nice. Search for Tomorrow to go and find some land. Wood Elves, find some lands. Yevamar Elder, go and find a couple of lands in the card draw. Armadillo Cloak, +2/+2 and trample, and whenever you deal damage, gain that much life. Commanders who we talked about. Lotus Eye Mystics enters the battlefield if we get to get an enchantment back from our graveyard to our hand, and it gets prowess. Marked by Honor, +2/+2 and vigilance. A little bit expensive, but hey, there's only so many auras you can have in at a lower cost. Rimfall Reindeer, tap a creature, might give you a way of getting some damage in if you need to. Silverflame Ritualist, puts a +1/+1 counter on all our creatures, and hopefully we'll use it with 3 white mana and give them more vigilance as well, so that's cool. Conifer Strider is another one of the hexproof creatures, 5/1, so you're going to need to put some toughness pump on it as soon as possible, but yeah, that's quite cool. Jade Guardian, also hexproof, and it puts a +1/+1 counter on a target merfolk you control. Okay, so it's a 4 mana 3/3 hexproof. Yeah, okay, I cover that. Jukai Preserver, +1/+1 counter on a creature you control, or you can discard it and put a couple of +1/+1s around using the channel ability. Captivating Unicorn, another way of tapping creatures when we play enchantments. Charmed Clothier, another one that puts a Royal Roll token on a creature as we cast it when it comes into play. Custodial Squire just makes people do the will of the council bit. Return player votes for artifact, creature, or enchantment in the graveyard. Return the card with the most votes, all tied for the most votes. So, get some of your enchantments back quite happily. Knightly Valor, +2/+2, and a vigilant 2/2 knight creature token when it enters the battlefield. And Nylea's Forerunner gives all our creatures trample for the low cost of 5 mana permanently. Grand Tunakai is basically here to do the whole let's go find a basic land and put it into play if we need to, but it's also a 6/5 that can get some nice damage if we need to. Humbler of Mortals you want to get in play, because once you play an enchantment, everything gets trampled to the end of turn, so another way of getting the alpha strike in. Dread Linamore is also in, put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature, untap it and give it hexproof, so it's maybe save Syr Armont if we need to. And finally, Hamlet Glutton. I figured we might have a bit more thing, a little bit of life gain. Trample, 6/6, quite hard to deal with. We can probably sacrifice a non-useful enchantment at some stage to get it into play if we need to bargain it. Or, if we've hit all our ramp, we just cast it for 7 and just have a 6/6 for 3 life and then start pumping stuff onto it. But that's it. That is my pauper take on Syr Armont for this week. Like I say, I'm really sorry. I'm just running out of ideas what to do with the pauper decks. So a lot of the ones we've got left, like O'Brien Dreaming Duelist and Johanna, Apprentice Sorcerer, kind of do things that are already done in the colour pairings by other creatures, and probably done better, to be fair. But Syr Armont just has something fun, and it pumps your creatures up, hence why I've covered it today. I may think about the other ones, you may see them, but like I say, there's not going to be a weekly Pauper video for a while now, unless I get inspired. Obviously, if there is something you want to see me try and do in Pauper, and it's a legend I haven't covered, leave me a comment down below. I will quite happily, I respond to all the comments, I do look at them, and I do read them all. And if there is a creature you want me to have a go at, let me know, and I'll pick it up and I'll try and do it. Just make sure it's one that's on MTGO, so I can do reasonably nice videos is all I ask. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. There's going to be a video tomorrow after all the fun of yesterday, and then I'm going to try and do one for Friday as well, so keep your eyes out for that, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, let me know what you think, tell me if there is anything you want me to cover in Pauperland. I'll appreciate it. Take care, see you soon, bye.